Helen Knowles from Tinnisburn Plants, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to propagate meconopsis by division. This is a large plant of meconopsis linghome. This was supposed to be going to RHS Chatsworth Flower Show this year as one of my display plants. Unfortunately the show is cancelled, but it does give me the opportunity now to divide this plant and grow it on so that I will have even more display plants for the show next year. Now you could do this with plants that have either been growing in the ground, just lift them and try and get as large a root ball as possible, or in the case of one like this has been sat out all winter in a pot. So I'm just going to tip this one out now, and then using my trusty bread knife, I found this is the best method of dividing these perennials. It's a lot easier than two forks back to back, which doesn't really work for meconopsis, to be honest. Now what I'm going to do here is not be too greedy and try and chop the plant up into too many pieces, because all that happens is that you end up with a young plant that just doesn't have a big enough root system to sustain itself, and you will unfortunately lose it. So it's best to err on the side of caution and go for fewer larger divisions. So I'm just going to cut here between these crowns, so roughly dividing the plant in two, and then literally just slice down through the root ball, and that's where a bread knife works a treat, and these aren't too hard to cut through. So you see what I'm left with there is a nice clean cut, but a nice big healthy chunk of plant. Now these could just be planted straight out into the garden. Just make sure that they are kept well watered until they re-establish, and a good mulch round about them really does help retain moisture in the soil around their roots, and also keeping their roots cool during the summer months, which is what meconopsis really like. But these are going to go back into pots for now. I was going to try a 3 litre pot, but I think that's going to be a bit too small for this. So this is a 5 litre pot, and that's going to be perfect size. That's going to sit in there. So just a little bit of compost in the bottom. I just use a regular compost with a bit of added vermiculite to improve the drainage, and also some granular slow release fertiliser. If you don't want to use that, then just dilute tomato food works as well as anything. And just gently backfilling around the root ball of the plant, not planting it any deeper than it was in its original pot. Firm the compost in round about it. There we go. Making sure, of course, to label it so I know which variety this one is. This will then be taken outside, put in more of the cold frames. I'll give it a good watering and leave it to grow on, and then hopefully it'll be flowering beautifully for RHS Chatsworth in 2021.